This is the style we're going for on this one. It's kind of hard for me to show you guys the whole thing. It's got the vase down at the bottom. So less colors than what we had in the other, some similar. So I'm going to use some of the same palette for that. But we are using white on this one. So it's got a white and black background, and then my flowers are kind of a combination of some hot pinks and reds. So I've got some red. This is watermelon slice. So it's got a little bit more of a coralish color to it. And then obviously I've got my mint green. I'm still going to be using same color there. And more of my peony pink. And what else? Plum. I used a little bit of desert cactus as an accent in my vase. I'll put some of that right there. How's the view look for you guys? Are we good? I'm trying to refresh this. Okay, good. Good view. Now if I can just get my iPad to cooperate. We'll give it a second. It's not letting me. So with this one, I'm gonna kind of get my outline on here before I start doing my background. So I'm just gonna start with my mint green and just kind of, my vase goes off the bottom of my canvas and it's a little off-centered. So just big curved lines there. I'm gonna grab a little bit of that desert cactus on the sides. I seriously just love how messy these are. Look. Talk about happy little accidents. Letting those colors just decide that's where they want to be. I picked up a little bit of that coral. It was actually dried, I think, on my palette knife. So I'm just trying to get that shape rounded out the way that I want. And you could do any shape that you want. And let's grab a little cream in the middle here. There's just something very freeing about this and how quickly you can do things. Oh, look at that. I let all my paint run. I didn't realize that was crooked. Just a little bit of accent here and there. Got a little black over here around that edge. And then just make sure you go all the way off your edge so it doesn't look like it's floating there. don't know what is wrong with my Facebook app. Will not refresh. We're gonna try it again. So I'm missing your comments for just a second right now while I get this pulled back up. There we go. Finally. Yes, absolutely. Messy forgiveness. I like that. Okay, so I have 5 flowers on my original. You can use whatever color of pink you want as your base. It doesn't matter. These are all going to be blended together. Again, messiness. But I'm just going to start here. I know I want one kind of hanging over the edge. And these are big. We only have 5 of them. So I'm just kind of bouncing back and forth between the colors. And your composition may be a little different than mine. But just kind of scraping around to get a somewhat circular shape. They don't need to be perfect circles. My original of this was done on a 16 by 20. This one's an 11 by 14 that I'm working on. Then let's do my main one in the back here. Then we'll kind of decide where our other ones fall. And they'll start taking on shape when we add in all the accents. So don't worry about them overlapping in color right now and you not being able to see. If that bothers you, let's grab a little bit of plum and we'll overlap over here just a little bit. You can see a little bit more of the difference there, but this one's going to be on top. That might help you see that edge just a little bit more. Hey, Luana. All right, so now I have this really big one over here. It's gonna cover up a bunch of that. Let's grab a little plum. Same thing, just so you can see. Good, I'm glad. They're fun. I think once you start with palette knife flowers, you're just gonna love making, and you can make them fast. Like if you're wanting to do some artwork for people, people love the look of palette knife and the messiness of it, you know, the abstractness of it. So they make great gifts, and I think people think they're a lot harder to do than they are. Because you're not having to worry about perfection or any of that. Now we've got our nice outline of flowers there. Since this one's in the back, I'm going to come in and add a little more plum around that edge. I think I want to pull this out a little bit more though. And if you decide to get the palette knife set, I'm just using my plastic ones today, you'll even be able to do more because it just allows you to allows you to move the paint around in a little bit different way. All right, so that's our base. Now for the background, this is how I did it. If you want this, I love the look of this because it's not very perfect. I love how messy that is, but you notice how everything is black. So we're doing solid black. And if you saw the original of this from a couple months ago, I started out with a solid black background, but it was bugging me and I couldn't figure out what I didn't like about it. And then I added the white stripes to it and I was in love with it. So we're just gonna come right up on our flower there. And so far I have not used any gel medium with this. You can if you want to make it thicker. Oh no. Sorry, Cheryl, stay safe. Tornado warnings are no good. And you can totally turn your canvas while you're doing this if you need to. I'm just taking some of the, got a little extra over there. You can, because this doesn't need to be thick. So you'd want to go all the way around your sides too. You could just paint your whole sides black for this one if you wanted, instead of carrying those stripes around. So I'm going to go ahead and come in and put my black centers in. And then we can decide how much accent we want to add around it. That one's kind of peeking in the background there. Okay, so I'm just going to jump right back to my flowers again. I'm going to leave the background for right now and not put the white in. I'll come back to that. I'm going to grab a little of my mint here and clean up my edge. Maybe add a little bit more of that desert cactus in a few spots here. Okay, so I'm going to start with my back flower and start adding in some lighter colors here. Grab a little bit of that white. And I'm not worried about overlapping now because this is going to come back and be on top again. Break that white line up just a little bit. Maybe just a little red in here, a little pop of color. This is going to be my dominant flower, so I'm going to save that one for last. That's the one that is more of the focal point. Thank you, Becky. You know what, I'm gonna grab, I've got some of this baby pink left over here. I'm gonna grab a little bit of that and throw that in. I like this dark color right here because it's gonna kind of be in the shadow of this other one we're getting ready to pull on top of it. Can you guys see that? Then we'll have some shadow down here. Oops. like that little pop of red in there too. Just kind of just keep playing and moving. Now, I'm one of those, I kind of just use what's on my plate, and then if I decide I want to go back for a particular color, I can. But right now I'm just going to work with what I've got on here. Okay, I'm trying something a little new. I had a little bit of this purple left over. I'm going to put a little in here. Why not? That's a pretty little accent, don't you think? You like that lavender color in there? I think that's pretty. All right, now for a big guy over here. I'm gonna scrape up a whole bunch on here. Keeps slipping out of my hand there. Leave some big, bold white spots there. Maybe another one down here. So then, just for a little contrast, I threw in some of this mint. It's just a really pretty offset color there. And it doesn't have to be a ton. It's kind of just here or there. Or there, since it's splattered. No worries. It's fine. So you can get as detailed as you want with these. I think I want a little bit more of this brighter pink. This is the peony pink. Just in a few spots. And then I'm going to grab a little bit more of just my regular red as well. And I just like there to be different areas of color so that they're not all the same. Does that make sense? So have some areas where it's like a bigger block of color. Maybe right on that edge. Pull a little black in here just to give a little separation. Okay, so I think I'm done with my flowers. I may come back and decide to do something different, but I'm going to show you how I did the white stripes. And I did do them after this. So like I said, originally I started with all black and then I came back and added white later. Of course, now I've got red in my white, so I may have to get myself some clean paint here. We're gonna start with this. So I just took my palette knife like this, and they were about, probably, for this, we'll do about 1-inch sections. And I'm just loading it up, and I'm just going back and forth. This paper towel is getting in my way. And if they come up on the flowers, just go around. You can come back and straighten those edges up of your flowers if you need to. So again, mine's got a little red in there for my paint mixing, so I'll decide later if I want to fix that or if I like it. So going just around these edges, making sure I go down the side as well. I'm gonna get some more white. Yeah, tell her like 10 minutes. So you can come back and straighten these edges up. And again, they're not supposed to be perfect by any means. And we'll come back on and put a second coat. So I'm just trying to eyeball. I think I'm going to turn it back this way. I think that's a little closer. And same thing, just kind of eyeball in there. may put this first coat on and then let it dry and come back and put a second coat on. That way, if you have any of those colors mixing or overlapping, you give them a chance to dry. And it depends on how clean looking you want it. You may like the messiness and letting a little bit of the black show through. It definitely has a cool effect. Oops, pull this edge back out. See, if you overlap, just pull your flower back on top of it. You use a laser level. How are you setting that up while painting? I am curious. This must have been really wet black paint. That's straight up gray. And notice they're not all perfect. Come down on the bottom here for our final one. So when I'm holding the palette knife like this, I'm not pressing down the whole way, or obviously that'd be too wide of a line. So you're just putting pressure down on that top part as you're pulling it across. All right, what do you guys think? I'm gonna let it dry like this. I'm gonna fix this one little area here. And that was the other thing. Let me show you the original again. There are spots in the black where it's not just pure black. There's a little bit of white mixed in there, and then obviously the same with the white. And there's some black mixed in there. But I'm gonna let it dry and come back over that. And decide if I am happy with where this is at right now. And you could do little pops of, if you wanted a little scrape of mint or red somewhere, you could definitely do that. May pull this black up a little bit more up here. So again, very forgiving because it's messy anyways. And you can go back and edit things as you go. Does that make sense? All right, so what do you guys think of this one? You like it? You ready to try it? Do some messy little scrapes in your black. Get a little dirty. All right, so you got a 2-for-1 today. Bonus. All right, enjoy. I can't wait to see. I'll come back later. I'm gonna put another coat of white on in some areas. I don't know if I'll do it in a ton. and show you my finished one when it's all dry. This is so thick right now, I'm limited on what I can do. One more thing I want to show you really quick before I go. I used that cream right here as a highlight in my vase. I also used it just here and there. It just changes, it's warmer. Can you guys see that? Instead of just using the white as my highlight, when you add a little bit of cream in there, it just kind of pulls it forward. I just love that little bit of warmth that it adds. Maybe around the edge here. So obviously you could keep playing with this forever. It is kind of addicting. And the thing that I liked that I added to this one that I did not do in my original was, I like this little pop of purple. So I'm gonna come back and add that in just a few areas too. That's so pretty. Okay, now I'm leaving it alone. I promise. All right, thanks guys. Have a good day. Can't wait to see what you are posting. Bye.